On Thursday night, we brought our special guest, Nicole Nark. Now, Nicole's a brand new member of our channel. That's why we wanted to promote her today, just to get you guys. Here's how I found her. I scan YouTube all over the place, and I try to find people that are not only entertaining, but also they know what they're talking about, and they have a passion basically to help people. So I reached out to Nicole because I've been watching her videos for probably a good year now, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to her. Maybe she'd like to partner up with our team, because we're trying to go out after the YouTubers out there that are in the kind of the real estate sphere, just to say, hey guys, what are you doing with your leads? Like Nicole, in your case, welcome aboard. Tell everybody about you that don't know. You might know the face, because if you're flicking through YouTube real estate, you probably see her thumbnails kind of flicking all the way through. And that's how I found her.
Thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate it. I am very, very excited to be on the team. For any of you who may not have stumbled upon my face on YouTube, I'm Nicole Nark. I love putting out content all about buying a house, the process, how to get started. Really, the whole thing stemmed from me at 22 years old, when I wanted to buy a house, having no idea what I was doing. At that point, I wasn't in real estate. And ultimately, after I got my license, I was like, there needs to be someone out here teaching people. I went through the process myself, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to get licensed and, kind of put out the content to help guide people. So that's where it came from. I'm licensed on the real estate sales side in Handle, Central Arkansas. Love doing that. And now I'm definitely excited to be on the team over here with you.
Awesome. And you do such a fantastic job. Between you and Kyle, it's like I'm grandpa. And then I got you guys on the side doing your content. It is fantastic. So check out Nicole's channel if you guys would. So what we're going to do today is, I know it's going to be a little bit different than what Kyle and I do, but we're going to go kind of through the same format. Let me just go through some of the economic news that's in the markets right now. I like to go over what is in the top, the top stories making news today. So Nicole, give me your take on this one. Let's play like fact or fiction, and I don't mean to be putting you on the spot, guys. We haven't rehearsed this or anything, so this is live.
I know, and you keep on top of the news way more than I do.
Oh, just check it, because you're probably the average person out there. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to all this stuff, because it was like you. I found my passion in this when I graduated college. I didn't even know what a mortgage was. Mm-hmm. I moved to Chicago years ago to get into the stock exchange, or the Chicago Merc, and nobody would hire me. And then I got stuck doing mortgages. And I say stuck doing mortgages. I didn't know what a mortgage was. And then you start helping people, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. You're putting people into homes and things like that. So I'm not the FOMO type that everybody needs to buy a house. I'm just saying, kind of like you. Once you decide to buy a house, it's confusing. And if you've never, you don't know what you don't know. Okay. So that's what we really want to get in the context here. But the headlines of the week is the Biden administration is killing great credit consumers when they're buying a house, making it probably unaffordable for home buyers. What's your take?
I've heard that that's the popular headline. I'm thinking it's a little twisted, a little dramatic.
Yes, it's really bad. So Kyle and I just put out videos on this, and I'll give you some of the content, so at least you can inform your borrowers. It's not a big deal, folks. I mean, it's truly not. If you're like a 740 credit score and you're putting down 15 or 20%, you're going to have a bump in your discount points of about 0.75 or 3/4 of a point. Okay, so even if you're buying a $500,000 house, it's going to cost you an extra $3,500. That's truly what's going on. On the other side, if you're putting down less money, and even if you have a good credit score, you're actually getting a better situation. So it's really affecting just a tiny little spot that most borrowers aren't in anyways. The tough thing is, reason for some of this stuff is FHA was created to help the low to middle income houses, and no disrespect there, and people with some dings on their credit. And that's why FHA was created. And now they're trying to make like conventional loans quasi, FHA and they're trying to mix it. It doesn't, I don't understand why it's going on, but it's going on. So the other headline I have for you is, and I don't know where Nicole went, but what are your thoughts on, is there truly, I don't mean to quiz you on this. Is there truly a 40-year mortgage out there for people looking to buy their first house?
Ooh, is there truly? I'm going to say you got me with that one. No.
No. That is correct. So the big headlines the last 30 days in the news, and you were out traveling the world, so God bless you. The last 30 days was there's a 40-year mortgage out there, and people were just going rampant on it. They're like, FHA is now coming up with a 40-year mortgage. No. If you're in trouble with an FHA loan, you're delinquent, you need help, you're trying to modify your loan or whatever, that now FHA has the ability to stretch your payments out to 40 years. That was it. So that's where I came in, when I started my YouTube channel. How I started was the credit score stuff. So people, they would have their credit, they were putting out credit score videos, and they're like, pay off your credit and do this and do that. And the information was 100% inaccurate. So I'm like, I'm going to make a video because it really pissed me off. So I'm like, I'm going to put a video out there just giving the truth. And the video got like 250,000 views. And I'm like, whoa, there's a need for this. And then I started doing videos. So
I love it.
So that's how I started. So the channel thing wasn't about me. It was bringing you in. So what you have a passion for. Most of your buyers, I'm assuming they're first-time home buyers. Are they kind of younger? Okay, because following your channel, I mean, I love your channel. That's how I found you. So I can see your demographics are there. What challenges did they see? I mean, they don't know what they don't know. So now that you know, what is it that they don't know?
I mean, so much. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of two questions, right? Like there's a lot that's unknown about the process just in general. How to get started. When do you get pre-qualified, pre-approved for a loan? Do you find the house first? Do you get the loan pre-approval first? That's a big one. You always want to know how much you can afford first.
Right.
Do that before falling in love with a house. Same thing with how to find an agent. How do we get through the whole process?
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stepping stones that once you understand kind of your blueprint to buying a house, it's not scary anymore. Of course, you have to put in the work, but it alleviates some of that unknown stress. In terms of kind of obstacles, I mean, affordability is such a problem right now with interest rates and rising home prices. It's definitely cutting into what people can buy, especially with like my generation, millennials, who are just kind of struggling to come up with the down payment and, compete when still kind of nationwide we're struggling on inventory levels.
Right.
So I know some markets are starting to balance out. In Arkansas, we're still very low. So, I mean, I've had multiple offers and bid wars on my most recent listings just because it's very difficult to get in.
So it's an interesting thing that you said that, and you're a realtor with boots on the ground, and you sell a lot of homes. You aren't the typical realtor, and I'm not bashing typical realtors. I never knew this. The average, you probably know this. How many houses does the average realtor sell in a year?
I think it's pretty low because there's so many realtors.
I heard like 3 or 6.
Yeah.
You do multiples of that. So you are in the business, whereas, a lot of, the media, most media, they don't sell houses. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to hear you saying, I guess, contradicting the crash, because
Right.
everybody out there, you watch so many of these videos, it's like, oh my God, the world's crashing, the world's crashing, the world's crashing. Then every time I speak to you guys, you out there, boots on the ground, and then we're on the inside taking the calls from people trying to ask questions and get pre-approved, the phones ring off the hook. So it's, so that's why we're doing this video. So without further ado, I think we got a ton of questions coming along. So Nicole, if you don't mind, I'm old and I can't see. So if you could read the questions, I'd love you for it.
Absolutely. We have a ton of questions coming in. This one, it looks like, is from Jack, and it says, you see, I'm on Social Security, SSDI 11, New Jersey, but I'm trying to get a place of my own, me and my brother. So I think maybe some clarification on qualifying with Social Security.
Okay, I'll take the mortgage questions if you don't mind. Then you take the mark, because we should have a lot of questions on what's the housing market look like. That's your forte. So
Absolutely.
you can't. It's not think of Social Security as just a paycheck that you get. That's the easiest way to think about it. Don't think, oh, it's coming from Social Security. It doesn't matter. It's money. So you have money as long as you can budget and as long as your credit's there, we'd love to help you. And if your brother's working, or your brother might be on Social Security as well, or whatever else, we can use his assets and his income and credit and everything else to help you qualify. So Nicole does have a link if you'd like to schedule a calendar event with us, a consultation. So what we do something that's a little different than most people. We like talking to you guys because, especially with Nicole's viewers, you're probably, like I was saying, you don't know what you don't know. So that's why we opened this platform up to allow you guys to set up an appointment at your convenience, the day and time you want it. We'll do a one-on-one consultation with you guys, either by phone or by Zoom, to answer all the questions that you have. If you need help getting placed with a realtor, we'd love to hook you up with Nicole if you're in that area. If not, we can vet realtors in your area. But we work with over probably 87 different lenders right now. So we pride ourselves in getting you the right program, but at the lowest rate in the market, because we can use over 87 different companies when we're looking for mortgage rates. So sorry I drew that one out, but now you can see why I told you I ramble some.
Well, I think that at the end there, you touched on a huge point, which I didn't even know until I came on the team. Is a big kind of misunderstanding that a lot of people have is, if I want an FHA loan, I have to go to a certain bank. If I want a conventional loan, I have to go to a certain bank, or down payment assistance is a separate application from an FHA loan. And that's the cool thing, is if for anyone who's watching this, who's interested in knowing what their options are, getting started on the process, like, just go ahead and set up that consultation call, because we can guide you through all of those. And it's way simpler than I think most people even understand.
The simplest term is, here's what I'll explain what we do. And this kind of flabbergasted Nicole as well. We're a national bank. Okay, so we're national. So that means I can do loans in any state in the whole country, as well as Puerto Rico. But we are also one of the country's largest mortgage brokerages. But nobody really understands that part of it. So the position we're in is, let's say, for example, I don't have that product, or some other bank has a better rate for me. Well, I can go and use their services, use their rates and everything else, and put you through them. So we always try to say to you guys, if you're new to this and you need to start, you need a team, we can help you get pre-approved. We can help set you up with a realtor, and we can help you through this whole entire process. And you can be comfortable knowing that we scan rates all over the country. It's not like it's just our rates that might be high. We scan it. We could do it live with you guys on the Zoom with us to show you all the companies we work with and all the rates out there. So thank you.
Absolutely. Susan's got a question here. She says, hello, is it a good time to buy a house now? Thanks.
Nicole.
So, great question. One of my favorites to answer. I would say universally, there's no perfect time to buy a house. Like, I wish I could predict it. I wish I had like the crystal ball sitting in front of me saying, okay, green flags, go, go, go. Unfortunately, it's just not the case. So really what I would advise is reflect on your personal finances and situation. Figure out if it's a perfect time to buy for you. Right now is a great time for many different people. Ultimately, even regardless of what the market is doing, you have to think about it in this way. If it's a buyer's market, that's great. But if it's a buyer's market, and let's say there's tons of inventory available, and you might need to sell your home in order to buy a home, then you're probably not getting necessarily the most money for your sale to begin with. But then you're buying point. On the other hand, if it is a seller's market, then there's limited inventory available. You're selling your home at the height, the peak of what you could probably sell it for. But then on the other hand, you're facing a ton of competition when you go to buy your home. So no matter kind of what market we're in, there's always kind of a downside as well to consider. So I would say, if you are, solid on your income, it's steady, it's increasing, hopefully, you've been in a secure job, you've got good credit, and you know that you're going to be in wherever you're trying to buy a house for probably a good 3+ years, then by all means, I think it's a good time to go ahead and, start the pre-approval process and look into buying.
Perfect. So many people say that we sit here and pump FOMO in the real estate business. And your comment is the same as mine. That's the same as Kyle's. It's the same as a lot of people in this sphere. It's like, it's up to you guys. There's no perfect time to do anything. If I knew that, I'd go out there and buy every house available. If this is the perfect time, everything's going to go up 20%. I'd go up and, mortgage my house and everything else I got to buy other property. But it's like the stock market. You hire a specialist on Wall Street and they're wrong half the time. So good call on that.
Yeah.
Good job.
I think it just comes down to their personal situation.
I agree 100%.
Okay, we've got another question here from Christine. It says, hello, I'm shopping for my first home and I'm considering using a USDA loan. Is it a good option?
You just did a great USDA video, so that's right in your wheelhouse.
I love USDA loans. They are 100% on my radar because in Arkansas, there are so many great areas that qualify for it. So I help clients with it all the time. I think USDA loans are a great option if you are struggling to come up with a down payment because, in a big, I guess, kind of misconception is that you have to buy in a super rural area. And that's just not the case. Like there are so many suburban cities that are, maybe a population of 20,000 people that qualify for the USDA loan. A lot of times builders will allow you to use it as well, building new construction homes. So I'm a big fan of it. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I love them. I mean, it's no money down. So even if you weren't struggling with a down payment, my philosophy is I want my money. I want to hold it. I like my cash in my hand. So let's leverage it if we can and use 100% financing. And the PMI is virtually nothing. So why not, finance the hilt? And again, here's why I learned this. I've been in this business a long, long time. I did my first USDA loan because we're just outside of Chicago, probably about 10 years ago. And it was a condominium out in a suburb that wasn't all far from where I live. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's USDA 100% financing on a condo. Me, I'm thinking it's a freaking farm out there that, cows are going around where we're trying to sign the papers. And no, it was a condo, so that was awesome. But no, I agree 100% with you.
Yeah, I think it's like a little loan hack. I don't think many people know it or know about it, but if you are buying in an area that qualifies, it's a really good option.
Perfect. If for some reason, guys, you might see Nicole coming in and out where she is, there's a storm. So if we lose her, that's probably what happens. So she might be a little fuzzy here and there, but it's her internet connection where she is. All righty, next one.
Yep. We got another one coming in. I'm still seeing.
Hold on, let's see.
The same one.
We got a couple people moderating us tonight, folks. So it's our first time doing this. So bear with us. Fantastic.
This one still says Nicole and Dan are going through questions.
Okay. Next one.
All righty. Midwest Mama's Adventures says, can I get a couple of acres with USDA if I qualify?
You can't. Well, if it has a house on it, can you do,
Right.
You probably know more about the USDA because you just did the really nice video about it. If you went to USDA direct, will they finance land? I don't think they will they?
No. So it's completely different. It's another big misconception about USDA. So you have to have there has to be a livable house on the land. So if there is a home that you could buy that is on acreage, that might qualify. But just, can I use the USDA loan to buy acres? No.
Perfect. Thank you. That's it, right in Nicole's wheelhouse. She loves the USDAs.
Yes. All right. Jack said, my caseworker is trying to find out for me to get finance to get a house for me and my brother, and they're going to be sending me something to email to her. You might need to supply maybe some additional documentation. I'm assuming it's probably a caseworker who might be helping with the USDA direct.
Yeah, If you can, whoever posted that, if you can clarify that, we'd love to help, but we just need to make sense of it.
Yeah. Let's see. Christine asks, is the Down Payment Toward Equity Act going to pass soon?
Did you know about that? I don't know about that act.
I made
Down.
a video about it. I have not heard anything more about it being passed. I was not told or couldn't find anything about it being shot down either. But I don't know that it's going to come into fruition. I would say if you are interested in like some type of down payment assistance rather than waiting out for that possibility, I would say try and find a down payment assistance that program that would work for you. That way you're going to be able to buy something, I can guarantee, a lot quicker than waiting out for a possible act to get passed.
Yeah. And we have several down payment assistance programs. If you want to contact us, schedule an appointment, we'd love to walk you through the ones that we have. And then Nicole, you just did a video on down payment assistance as well. A lot of states have it in directly as well. So we might be able to help you find those, but we'll help you kind of uncover or turn over every rock to help you out. Promise.
Yep. Several different state programs, lender programs. There's a lot available right now. Mark says, hello from Cali.
Hello
Mark,
there.
where are you watching from? I was just in California. You'll have to let me know. Christine says, hello from Huntsville.
Woo-hoo.
We've got people tuning in from everywhere today.
Seriously.
Hi from South Carolina.
Awesome.
Hello from Michigan.
Cool, cool,
I've got
cool.
family up in Michigan.
Awesome.
All over the place. Simone said the process can be overwhelming. The process to buying a house can definitely be overwhelming. Christine agrees. Overwhelming.
Yeah. But break it down if you would. Just briefly. Like you said, just did a little bit ago. If you break it down into just little chunks. If you think about it, what does the buyer really need to do? I mean, just compartmentalize it a little bit. Like you were saying at the beginning, figure out, is it really right time for you guys to do this? And that's only you guys that can figure that out. And then consult with somebody, because you're not going to go, why would you go look at a house if you don't have the cash to buy it? Well, you're going to need financing. So you better get your financing in place first, so you know how much you can afford. Because a lot of people will call us and they're like, oh, I want this $500,000 home and this. Then when you go over the payments, they're like, what? You don't realize it's not just the loan payment. You also have to pay real estate taxes that might be $4, $5, $6, $1,000 a month. And then homeowners insurance, depending on where you live. You live in Florida, that's a couple $100 a month. So all that adds up. So that's why we say, schedule a consultation. We'll go through all this with you, give you calculators, and do everything for you to prep you to make sure or validate that it's the right time to buy. And then we'll kind of walk you through the process. But all you're going to do is, just work on your credit and everything else. You're going to fill out an application. We're going to pull your credit, get you pre-approved probably within hours. We can help you get set up with a realtor. And then your job there is just to find, I know it's nerve-wracking, but just to go out there and enjoy the process. It's like, childhood, childbirth, when the woman gets pregnant, she's showing off and everything. So enjoy this time, because it's a cool part of life. So that's it. I mean, make it as simple as you can, but enjoy that part of it. Don't make it seem like, oh my God, it's so burdensome to do.
Absolutely. We're here for you guys. I promise. I feel like a lot of times I end up being the therapist as I'm helping my clients through it, because it's definitely overwhelming. It's overwhelming even being on our end. When we personally, I know, like, buy homes, it can get overwhelming. So it's a normal feeling to go through the process, but know that we're here for you. If you have questions, set up a consultation and we'll help alleviate some of the stress that you might feel, for sure.
Yeah.
Christine said, are there grants available as of right now for first-time home buyers?
You want to take that?
Absolutely.
All
Go
yours.
for it, Dan. Oh.
Yeah, you do it.
Yes,
I know
there are.
a lot of this is on videos that you just did, so I know you're prepped for it. So go for it.
Yep, there are definitely grants available. I think that this goes hand in hand with what I had talked about with my videos, which is, sometimes down payment assistance is going to come in a grant, and there might be ways for it to be forgiven. Other times you might have kind of like a second loan to cover that down payment. And really, like, the biggest thing that I can say is, like, set up a consultation when you feel like you're approaching the time that you want to buy. And I'm not trying to push that by any means, but that is what is going to help you the most figure out what is going to be best for your personal situation. You don't have to necessarily do a bunch of research, go around and try to find the magic program that's going to work for you. But when you fill out like a loan application, essentially I always explain it to my clients that you're like submitting kind of your financial report card to the lender. And then they're going to be able to review that and say, okay, based on what you've told me, here are the grants that would be available to you. Here are the programs, and here's what makes the most sense. So they're definitely out there. It's even hard to kind of say, oh, you're in this state, this might work for you or this might work for you. Really, it does come down to your financial situation. So when the time is right and you're feeling good about it, I would definitely suggest going that route and setting up something.
Perfect.
Welcome to Susan's. Oh yeah, this is Susan again. She says, overwhelming that sales representative plays too much games. Are you talking about a realtor or like a sales representative for a builder? Give us some more details there, unless you might know. Wait. Earl says, from the home of the famous Blue Angels. Yes, that's where you're watching from. I love it. Thanks for the plane emoji as well. Crystal said, 87 lenders. Who helps you narrow that down to the right one?
Perfect question. We actually have software, and we've done several videos about this. So what we do is it's software that we have that's linked with all these banks, and what they do is their rates are electronic, obviously. So we go into this system and we plug in your criteria, your specific criteria, and then we hit go, and it just scans all those banks and then just categorizes them according to rate. And then we have to go through it sometimes and say, okay, that lender, they may just be terrible. They have the best rates in town, but they don't approve any loans. So we're not going to go to that one. But in most cases, that's how we categorize it. We can even do it with you guys on the phone. This alleviates you guys having to call 10 different places. It's confusing enough to buy your first house. And then when you start, you really want to know about the mortgage programs and you want to watch those rates every day, tick by tick by tick. I know it's exciting and all that, but you gotta relax a little bit. You know what I mean? Just let us get involved and help you. But that's basically how we do it. It's a computer program we use or a website we use that just scans that and makes it simple for us. Then we just go through and we pick the best rate in town for that day. And they might not be the best bank for tomorrow. They might not be the best bank for the next day. Or some banks have specials that you guys don't know about, like, hey, free appraisals this month or things like that will cover your appraisal for you and things. So these are a lot of factors that get involved.
Absolutely. We've got another question. Are there any potential local or state regulations that you've heard of that might cause a sudden increase in inventory? Great question. Well, I mean, so an example of this is the potential looming, they're calling it like the millionaire tax or mansion tax in California, where they're going to be potentially taxing uh, homes, I think, that are sold over, I can't even remember the total price point. But if your home is over, I want to say 5 million or 10 million, you're going to get taxed extra. So some people are like selling in anticipation of that, trying to sell before that could come into play. So there are some times that different regulations or potential taxes being passed can influence inventory. I haven't necessarily heard of anything recently in terms of like allowing or not allowing, Airbnbs or short-term rentals influencing inventory at all. But it is something that can happen. So definitely, keep an eye out on your local news. If you're not in contact with a realtor, realtors are usually pretty good resources as well in your specific area that you're looking to buy.
Perfect.
Let's see if we got more questions here.
I'm sure there are more.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we have to cut it at some point. So if you get tired, just say.
Simone said, do you think it's wise for a first-time home buyer to go for a new build / construction?
What's your opinion? Because I get this a lot. I even had somebody comment today on a couple of videos. One was, would you buy a model home? And then a lot of people ask me, would I, buy a new construction? And I'm like, I don't know why I get that question. Is there a reason? I don't want to buy a new construction because I don't want to go through. It's hard enough just to pick out a house you like and move in, let alone, microscope it all the way down to what kind of, faucets you want. That's not for me. So
Yeah.
is that what maybe the question kind of is about? I don't question
Yeah,
that.
I think that there's definitely levels to that question, right? So you can, as a buyer, well, I guess let's break it down like loan wise, because there's a difference. You can use any, traditional loan, an FHA, conventional USDA, to buy a new built home. Like, so you would buy it when it's complete from the builder. So that is usually at a point to where you're buying more of a spec home where the builder is already picking out most of the fixtures. There's little customization that you as a buyer can do usually at that point. So I would say in that situation, I sell those all the time to first-time home buyers. It's a pretty easy process. Sometimes it can also feel good when you're a first-time home buyer, especially like, for example, in my market where we are seeing lots of multiple offer situations still. Sometimes it can feel good to get a new home under contract. You may be waiting for the builder to finish it, but at least you're not in like a multiple offer situation all the time. But at the same time, if you are going a more custom route or, trying to get a construction loan and build a house like from the ground up with a builder, those definitely come with some more hoops to jump through, some more decisions to make on top of your financing and everything. So it's not impossible for a first-time buyer to handle, but it is a lengthier and more involved process to go that route.
Got it. I couldn't do it. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah. We've got another question. Octane says, I am in Little Rock and I'm trying to start my home buying, and I definitely do not know where to start. I'm just saving. However, I am in school. Well, contact me. I'm in Little Rock.
Bam.
Let's get together. I'll definitely show you how to start. I started and bought my first house literally a few months out of college. So just because you're in school doesn't mean that you're too young or can't do it. It's definitely possible.
Awesome.
And yes, the link just popped up. So if you're ready to get pre-approved, make sure to set up your consultation.
Yep.
Let's see. We might have some more coming up here. Yep, we clarified on who helps us narrow down the right loan when you've got 87 lenders to choose from. Susan said thank you. You're so welcome, Susan. Lots of thank yous. You guys are so welcome. I enjoyed doing this live. Let me know if you guys like it. This is my first time doing a live on YouTube.
And you're doing fantastic.
Thank
This is
you.
what's cool. Isn't it gratifying? It's like you're sitting here just helping people live, which is neat.
Absolutely. I love it. It's always fun to go back and forth like in the comment section, but to be able to kind of interact with people more.
Sure.
I love it. We've got a hello Dan here from Greeley, Colorado. That's from
I'm scheduling
Abraham.
a trip out there. I might post it. Maybe we can do like I'm going out there with my sons, and maybe we can do a live pub something out there. I'll let you guys know when I'm heading out to. It's going to be in Denver.
So fun. Okay, we got another one here from Reen. It says, can I work with you to purchase a home out of state, or is there a limitation and best to use someone from that state? So loan-wise, you can definitely work with us. I would say it's best to work with a realtor who is very familiar with the area you are trying to buy in.
But could you help her find a realtor in that area?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely. So
So
Reach
yeah,
out. We can definitely
get a
help you
hold of
get
Nicole,
connected.
because what she can do is she can scan a system. They have all the realtors have it, and she can help you vet realtors out in that area for you. That'd be fantastic.
Absolutely. Be happy to do it.
Cool, cool.
All right. We've got another one here. Can I buy a house with a conventional loan and then later refinance into an FHA loan?
Yes, you can, but I don't know why you would. Because FHA, no matter what, you could be at 50% loan to value or 20% loan to value. You're going to pay PMI. You're going to pay an upfront MIP, and then you're going to pay a monthly MIP. So you probably don't want to do that. And I don't know why that situation would come up. But yes, you can do that.
I think it would make the most sense for people to start with an FHA, refinance
Right.
into a conventional.
What's funny right now, we did. Kyle he has a calculator on his website, and we had a buyer out in California buying like, I think it was like a $700,000 loan, or $700,000 property, and we ran the calculator, we ran the rates, and with these new rate adjustments and the reduction in the NFHA's monthly PMI or MIP to 0.55. It was cheaper for them, and he had a good credit score. It was cheaper for them to go FHA, even on the long-term loan. It didn't make much sense. There was a
Hmm,
big difference in rate though, and it's going to probably be even bigger once these adjustments come. So they might be pushing more and more people to FHA. I don't know. Uh,
interesting.
so
All right. Christopher asks, does a college loan hurt my home buying opportunity, even though it's on pause for payback and shows that I'm in good standing?
yes, it does. It will affect you. What happens is that we know they're on forbearance or on pause, but when you're getting a loan, depending on the loan type you get, what's going to be used is 1% of the balance. Normally, if you're going with an FHA loan, you can use 0.5%. So a 0.5% of your balance would be treated as a payment, because we know the payments are going to start at some point. We do have a system called My Loan Sense, and we'll get Nicole set up with that as well on her systems, where if anybody has student loan debt, with what a lot of your viewers probably do, this system is amazing. It'll pre-qualify you for 5 different income-based payment plans. And we just had recently a doctor, a young lady just got her doctorate and had like 300,000 in student loan debt. So if you figure this out, she goes with a conventional loan, that payment on when she's qualifying would be a $3,000 payment. Well, she'd never qualify. So we got her into this My Loan Sense, into this student loan payment plan thing, brought her payments down to, I think it was $385. So it was
Wow.
fantastic. So, Nicole, we got to get you set up with Catalina and My Loan Sense, because you're going to have tons of viewers that need that assistance, even if they're buying a house or not. You need student loan assistance.
Absolutely. I would definitely love to make
Yeah,
additional videos on that too,
we're,
because that's
we're introduce
awesome.
you to Catalina. She's a good girl. She actually created the company.
Very cool.
Yep.
Stella says, Nicole, you are awesome. Thank you for your videos, most specifically how you explain debt to income ratio. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stella, for watching. I am glad that you enjoy them. Alex says, how much money would you have to save for a down payment and closing costs on that $100,000 house that's 5%?
That
Explain. Could you explain what you mean by that's 5%, Alex? Are you talking about down? Because
the best.
typically your closing costs, I always say, 3% or more is what you're going to want to save. The more, the better.
Yeah, I think what he was asking is how much money. So the best. It's tough to actually calculate how much you're going to need, but as a first-time home buyer, you should go into the program with 3% down. So that'll save you to the 2% from 3 to 5. And then the biggest cost you have at closing is basically your title fees. And it's really hard to figure it out, because like Florida, their title fees are out the roof. And then you go to other areas that aren't so bad. And when I say out the roof, I mean like on $100,000 loan, it wouldn't be so bad, and no disrespect, but it might be $3,000-4,000. When you're talking $200,000-400,000, it's $10,000-12,000 in title fees.
That's
So, you know,
crazy.
your title fees are probably going to be about 3 grand. So think you're going to need 3 grand plus another 2 grand for costs and everything, plus your 3% down. So whatever that would equate out to, that's kind of what I would go. But like Nicole says, you know, add some more money to that because stuff comes up and you don't want to be nickel and dime to that last penny and then say, I don't have it. You know, an emergency came up, so you had to dig into that fund. Now you don't have it. So try to be in a good position when you're looking to buy.
Absolutely. All the extra pennies you can save help because you're going to have moving costs and costs to activate your utilities, all the things. And it's
Yeah.
just
And
easier,
that
much
just
easier.
don't get, you know, when you go in your first apartment, what do? You go in there and you buy towels and you buy plates and you buy this. You just, because it's cool, you know, you're enjoying the experience.
Yep.
All right.
Stella is watching. She says, hello from the Bay Area.
Sweet. Hello, hello.
Christopher says, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad that you're tuning in. This was our Crystal was asking the same thing. The 87 lenders who helps narrow it down. We talked
Oh,
about that one. All right. Julius says, hi, I have about 75,000 in student loans and on a income-based $0 monthly payment plan and $400 in other monthly bills. What loan would you recommend with an income of 60,000?
well, so the problem you have though in the student loan piece again, it's on deferment or he's in an income-based payment program. What was the payment on that? Nothing
It was a $0 monthly payment
on.
and $400 in other monthly bills.
Okay. I mean, based on that, you have 5,000 a month in income. It depends on. I mean, really narrows down to how big a house payment you want, because and there's a lot more to this story. So we would need to know what your credit score is because that's going to determine. Usually, in the markets in rates before all this stuff kicks in on Monday, is normally if you had a 660 credit score or less, we go with FHA because the guidelines are looser and they don't really whack you for having a low credit score. And they'll allow you to go up to a 57% debt ratio. Where on conventional, and I'll explain debt ratio in a second, and then on the conventional loans, you can only go to 50% or 49.9%. So basically what a debt ratio is, and Nicole has videos on this as well, is it's really simple. So just take all your creditors on your credit report. We don't want your cell phone bills and all that. Anything that's on your credit report, plus your proposed mortgage, divide that by your monthly gross income. And your gross income is the money that you would have received before they took out all those taxes and everything else. So it's the big number and that you get on your paycheck, and then you're left with the net income. That's that little number after the government takes their swipe and everybody else does. So that's what your debt ratio is. So depending on your credit score and your debt ratio, it depends. But and right now with the way they're adjusting rates with everything, it doesn't really matter if you go with a conventional loan or FHA. The rates are starting to blend equally amongst those on the new administration's rulings on how rates work. Whew, that was a long one. Sorry. Sheesh,
I'm
I
going to
bored myself on
fire
that
another
answer.
one at you. We've got more loan questions coming in.
If you can
Daniel
answer it,
asks,
take them.
Daniel asks, what is the minimum you can put down with a conventional loan?
3% if you're a first-time home buyer. First-time home buyer is deemed you have never had a house. Well, if you never had a house, or you have not been on the title to a property in 3 years. Okay, so here's the one thing, I got this question today. A young man asked me, he said, I was divorced, and I forget what the wording was, but when it actually broke it down, he wasn't on the mortgage, but he was actually on the title to the property. So he couldn't do a first-time home buyer because he was on the title. So you can be on the title or ownership of a home without having to be on the mortgage. Okay, so when we
Right.
do that quite a bit in situations to help you guys with rates.
Absolutely. Good clarification.
Sure.
Crystal says, will this Q&A be on your channel for replay?
Yeah,
Yes, it will be on both of our channels.
it's on both of us.
All right, we've got another one saying, could you speak to USDA construction to permanent loans? Definitely check out my full video that I've made on USDA construction to permanent loans. I will give you the disclaimer because you know I am real with you. They are probably the most difficult thing I have ever seen. I don't personally know anybody who has gone through the process start to finish. I'm not saying it's impossible to do a construction loan like directly with USDA, but there are a lot of hoops that you have to jump through. Like I've seen some people handle the getting approved for the financing part, but then also you have to find a builder that is going to be able to meet the USDA requirements as well. So I talk a lot more about it in the video. So go to my channel and check that out. Did you have anything that you wanted to add on that, Dan?
No, the perfect.
We've got another one here, Midwest Mama's Adventures. I love that channel name. It says, what closing costs are we responsible for if we get the USDA loan if we qualify?
You want to take that one?
Sure. So
Okay.
keep in mind your closing costs are going to be different than your down payment. So USDA loan is 100% financing. You don't need the down payment aspect, but you are still going to have the closing costs. So they're going to be pretty similar to what you would expect with an FHA, with a conventional, probably most similar to those FHA closing costs. So you're still going to have your title work. There is going to be, I think there's a upfront USDA fee, I believe, in there
Yeah,
as well.
they'll finance that because you can go what 100 like 102 LTV or something like that because they'll
Mhm.
finance the fee. So yeah, you're going to need whatever the lender fees are going to be, your appraisal and all that stuff because you're going to have that. The biggest thing is the title and then escrow. On in some
Right.
states where escrow, like here in Illinois, we have the second largest highest real estate taxes. So it's in when you're buying a property, what happens is we have to set up an account. It's called an escrow. So it's basically a forced savings account that every time you make a mortgage payment, part of that mortgage payments gets pulled out and put into an escrow account, which is think of it as a savings account. One is for your property taxes, and one is for your homeowners insurance. So every month, money goes into that. But when you first buy your property, we have to set it up, and it's based on there's mathematical formulas for this. You don't choose it, or it's not a random number. They say, well, we're going to need 4 months of real estate taxes. Well, here in Illinois, it's not uncommon to have $15,000 in real estate taxes on $400,000 or $500,000 home. So you take $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month times if they need 4 months in that, that's a lot of money. But most states aren't in that situation where the real estate taxes are $300-400 a month. So it might add another grand or two. So, I mean, if you had $5,000, I would say you should be peachy.
Absolutely. Isaac asks or says, "Hi, I was contacted by someone from your team, pre-approved, but afraid I might not find a house where I want to live. What happens next?" I'd
You,
say keep at it.
you're the realtor part. So we did our part. Have Nicole, the realtor, you answer this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I mean, nationwide, we are low on inventory right now. So it's very difficult to find what most people are looking for. I would say if you are working with an agent, talk to them and see from their professional opinion, like how realistic is it that you're going to find what you're looking for in your budget and your ideal area? Because that's a very important topic that I discuss really with my clients when we're in like the initial consultation period, because I want you to know upfront, like not everyone always has realistic expectations of what price point they need to get the house that they want or what price point they need for certain areas. So have that conversation with your agent. If you don't have an agent that you're working with, reach out to me. I can get you connected with one because I think that that will really help you. In most cases, working with an agent is going to be free to you. And I can't stress how important it is and how much of an asset a good realtor can be to helping you find a home, especially in a low inventory situation, which is probably what you're experiencing.
Great answer.
Taylor asks, can you help with USDA loans? Yes, we can.
And then if you guys
Absolutely.
can pop up Nicole's consultation tab, which you can do, the best way to reach out to us to get assistance with getting pre-approved or kicking the tires or just asking questions. Just schedule a consultation. We do one-on-one consultations with you guys. We can do it by phone or by Zoom, however you're more comfortable. And we're just there to answer your questions. It's not hard pressure sales. We're like this. It's just like this video. Are you ready? If you're not ready, well then, okay, that's fine. Let us know when you are. And that's the approach we take. We have people, I hate to say it this way, and we're not bragging, we have people lined up for assistance and help. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help you.
Absolutely. Crystal says, thank you. What is your specialty called that helps with that? What is your company? Your answer to my question helped so much.
What
Man,
was the question? Or what was the
I know. I feel like I can't remember now. It was either going to be, I think when she says, what is your specialty called that helps with that?
your specialty? What was it?
What is your specialty called that helps with that? I'm not sure if it was.
Oh, scanning the systems with all the lenders?
That could be it.
Oh, it's a website that we
Oh,
use.
yes.
It's a banking website that we use. It's not like something you can subscribe to.
Yes, she just clarified. She said the 87 loans
Yep.
into one.
Yep.
So
what
that would
happens-
be something that when you're doing like your consultation call on there, the lender can show you.
Yeah. So what we can do, we're completely transparent. That's why we do this. We'll show you. It's a computer system it's a banking computer system we have. You can't get it. So it's basically our system, and we link it with another system that links up with all these banks. So then when we have your specs, meaning your credit scores and all that, we go in there and type in this thing. Be like you going to Zillow and looking for a house. I want this many bedrooms. I want this, and you click it and it finds it for you. We go in there and say, here's the client we have, 710 credit score, 5% down, looking to buy in Arkansas, blah, 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 blah. What is the best rate out there for that program? We hit it, scans all those banks, and then just categorizes it for us. There's no reason for us not to take the top one. But this is something we can show you. You probably never even heard of the top one. You wouldn't have called the top one. You're probably calling Rockets or the other ones that are halfway down the chart. And we have access to their programs and rates as well on the wholesale side. So we're actually Rocket Mortgage's #1 broker in the whole country. So
just another reason if they're ready to book their consult.
Yes, ma'am.
Alex says, after you purchase, does the bank need to see if you can pay your monthly payment? If something goes, can you use your 401k for that purpose?
So after you close, if you start struggling, is that what the question reads like?
Yeah, it says after you purchase.
After you purchase, unfortunately, you've already pre-qualified. They did all their due diligence. Now it's on you. So you could scrape and scrimp any monies you can from anywhere. I'll just let you know this: if you're struggling right now, the best thing to do is call your mortgage company. They're working with everybody. They don't want your house. They don't want a housing market to go more south than some are predicting, and so forth. So your mortgage lender, and there's also some forbearance availability out there as well. So you might be able to skip, some mortgage payments as well. But so if you're struggling, reach out to your mortgage company. They're there to help you. They truly are.
Yeah. And know that no one's going to follow up and see that you're making your payment or where that payment is coming from. Dave wants to know, are there any other low down payment options for multifamily homes other than FHA? I think FHA is the best one. I don't think you can beat 3.5% down for up to a 4-unit.
4-unit build. That's insane.
For all the house hackers.
You'd be at 30, probably 30% down if you went conventional on a 4-unit. Isn't that what it is? Something like that. I mean, it's up there versus 3.5 down. Live there for a year and then move the hell out.
I mean, it's the best way to get in, especially for those who might want to start real estate investing. If you can do it that way, it just makes so much sense. But I really think that that's going to be the lowest down payment option.
Yep. Cool.
Jack says, I just have a question. Does the guy next to you work in New Jersey?
Is he referencing me as being in The Sopranos or something? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm actually, I don't know if that was a shot or not. I don't care. I'm actually in Chicago. I was born and raised in West Virginia. And now I currently live just in one of the suburbs out in the western part of Chicago. So Nicole, and she just joined our team. This might be is there a new question up?
There is one.
Okay, do that one, and then I might just we can go ahead and conclude it because we're coming up on an hour. But I hate saying that because people will start logging off. So if you don't mind doing that last one, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. It says, I'm approved for 320,000 FHA, but me and my wife feel like we're broke. Our mortgage rep says we're great with our debt to income ratio. We were denied for down payment assistance. What should we do?
That has your name all over it.
So I would just keep in mind, you got to look at two things. You need to look at, do you need to use that full 320,000 to get the house that you want, that's going to fit your needs? Because just because your mortgage rep says that that's a safe number for you, you are the only person who can really make that decision at the end of the day. You're the person who sees how much you spend on your food and, gas and, daycare expenses or whatever it might be. So a lender, even though all lenders are fantastic, they don't take into consideration those extra living expenses. So I would say, if you feel like it's going to extend you past what you're personally comfortable with, maybe try and scale it back. Just because you've been pre-approved for that amount doesn't mean that you have to spend the entire thing. And I wouldn't say, it'd be a little bit better to try and find something that's probably at a lower price point and something that you'd be more comfortable with.
That's probably a perfect point for me to come in and say this. Nicole's answer was dead on to what all of our beliefs are on my team. We're here to help you guys. We try to keep ourselves as informed as we can so we can inform you guys. We speak the truth. We're not trying to pump FOMO. We're here to help. So you can see why I reached out to Nicole and said, hey, would you mind joining my team? You're honest, the business, you're very educated, you're well-spoken, and you got a demeanor about you that's just truth. And that's what I loved about you, and that's why I reached out to you. So I want to introduce Nicole to you guys. She's the newest member of our team. We wanted to introduce her to you guys tonight, so to welcome her into it. She's a new realtor. She's going to be helping on mortgage sides of things, just educational, because we're just trying to get out on YouTube and become a big partnership out there to educate you guys out there if you're looking to buy a house. We're not saying you have to buy. We're not saying it's a perfect time to buy. We're not even saying buy. We're just saying we're here to help you, inform yourself, get educated on all this. And Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining the team. You're a huge asset, and I'm so glad that our paths crossed. So I want to welcome you, and hopefully everybody enjoyed the show, and we can keep doing this.
Hey, absolutely. I loved it. I'm excited to be here. And I'm really excited that we got to tackle some questions today and interact with everybody. So thanks for tuning in.
And the cool thing, if we do this week after week after week, it gets even cooler. So thanks again. And thank you everybody for checking us out. But please don't forget, if you're watching on my channel, check out Nicole Nark, her channel. She's a new member of our team. And if you've enjoyed this video and you find you need some help, please don't forget to click that calendar link for your consultation so we can do a one-on-one consultation with you. So thanks again so much. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Take care.
Thanks, guys.